I collect rocks. I love just looking at rocks and trying to figure out what they are. A lot of these rocks, like for example, this is from Hawaii. A lot of rocks are given to me. This is just small. I just wanted to have a little bit of a variety of the kind of things I collect. Shells and rocks and things like that. And why I do that is to try to get an idea of when I find a rock, what exactly am I looking at? For example, if you look at this shell, you start to see patterns. You look at wood, you see patterns, things like this. So the question has been, can human flesh, or can flesh turn to stone? And I just wanted to show you some rocks that I have that it looks like hamburger or it looks like steak. There's no question in my mind that this was not just a regular rock, that it was something organic. People have thought that perhaps, I've seen other videos about people talking about different stones being different parts of the body. I have studied anatomy for 30 years. Anatomy and dissection, and my job involves working on human bodies, anatomy and dissection. And so I'm very familiar with human anatomy, but I just wanted to show you some rocks that I found interesting. Now these rocks here, this one's really, really big. These rocks have the same shape. If you look at this rock very closely, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it has the same shape as the larger rock. It has a heart shape, and the camera's not really picking it up, but it looks like it's covered in veins. Keep listening. Here's another one. Same shape. It actually looks like muscle tissue. Okay? And then we have this one that actually looks like a big chunk of meat, and has a lot of the same characteristics. For example, they all have a bump here, they all have a bump here, they all have a bump here. Okay, they're all flat on one side. They all have a little point. They all are sort of broken away at the top here. Okay, if you look close, they're all sort of broken away at the top here. Now, I'm not saying that these are, because it looks like something, it is something. Like, because it reminds me of a human heart, because it looks like it's deteriorated flesh or petrified flesh, it is. I'm not saying that. I'm wondering if certain shapes in the earth give off certain vibrations, because the amount of heart-shaped stones that I have collected throughout the years that all have the same shape, like for example, it's very similar, but it's much more rounded. This one, I found this one at the beach. It's a totally different material, but I'm wondering if certain shapes give off certain vibrations, and that's why we have a lot of the same shapes occurring over and over again. Here we go again with a rock that actually looks like a piece of meat. That looks like a piece of steak. Anyway, so those are just some of those rocks. Here's some more. This rock here looks like that there, and then it looks like that. So, very interesting. All very interesting. The other big question that we have, can petrified soft materials, can they be turned to stone? Well, here's a great example. This is an ammonite, or even maybe the ammonite, or more like a shrimp. But look, we have the vein that goes down the back. Now, this is not the shell. This is the actual creature. The shell has probably been polished off, and this is the creature that was inside. And we can see this is actual marble. So we can see that soft materials can be petrified into stone. Okay, I think it's pretty amazing. When I think about fossils of ammonites, I think about this, and I think of anything that was perhaps soft turned into like a sandstone, which is right there. Anyway, so I think that's compelling. A better example, and I think it's interesting also to see crystallizes as well. It looks almost like granite. So again, a cross section of an ammonite, which is a prehistoric animal. This looks like some sort of reptile skin. This right here, another interesting stone. If you look closely, if I had this cut and polished, you would be able to see. Let me see if I can catch it. It looks like a flower, almost like a flower, and it's very heavy. Looks a lot like wood, and it's really heavy. But I just thought the little pattern there, if it was cut straight across, you would see it's a flower. Really, really cool. Look at this one. This is kind of interesting. So, in this right here, I feel like this is a piece of metal that was submerged into water for a long time. Now it's turned into stone. Here's another rock. Just looks like a boring old rock, but when you look at it really closely, then you start to see, okay, there's some patterning there. It looks, see some like ribbing here. I don't know. To me, I feel like it could almost be a bony plate or a giant scale on an animal, an individual scale on an animal like a turtle or something like that. I'm not sure, but anyway, when you start to look carefully just at rocks, you see a lot of things that pretty interesting. This right here, I'm quite certain this is a petrified mandible. And also, like, here's one right here. If you take a look at that, I mean, that looks like a piece of meat. That looks like if you cooked a pork roast or something, this is what you're gonna get, and that's just a rock. I mean, looks exactly like fibrous muscle material. Pretty sure that this is some sort of a piece of vertebrae. You can even see the center where, I mean, it's been worn down. This was at the beach, but you can even see the center where the spinal cord would go through. This was kind of a cool rock as well. There's actually fibers coming out of this rock. So if it was like mud with grass sticking out of it, or was it hair? I don't know. Pretty interesting. This is another one of those rocks. I think about the crystal skulls, and I'm like, well, did they have crystal hearts? Are crystal hearts a thing? If you look carefully, there are actually 4. This actually is broken up into 4 parts. This is a video from Agate Dad, and he cuts stones in half. It's a good channel. But anyway, as soon as I looked at these 2 shapes, they just reminded me of a heart and sort of a kidney, not at this angle but at another angle. And I just want to show you something. So this is an agate that's been cut in half, and that's an actual real kidney cross section. So there you go. Mamlambo fossils, I think that's how you pronounce it. But anyway, he's able to identify the shape of fossilized crabs within stones. So again, going back to the same idea that you can identify something because of the shape of the rock. And this is one of his other specimens that was identified. Pretty amazing. We live in an amazing world, so we really, there's just beauty everywhere. So look at that. Okay, that's it.